YouTubers, and thank you for tuning into today's, well, it's sort of a very different video on YouTube. And of course I believe it is part 2, talking about what it is I'm actually having at the moment is probably to do with the mental health that I'm actually having to suffer from. And that is because I've actually did talk about my mental health, and I've actually been detecting online. I think what happened 2 days ago, I think there was a bit of a debacle yesterday though, and I did got quite livid and a bit red in the face because, I was having lots and lots of pressure 2 days ago. And of course, yes, I'm starting to remember those feelings now, but I feel like, okay, maybe it's best they're gone and, probably banished and dumped into the shadow realm. That's all I can probably pretty much say for good, and not to remember again in the same place over and over and over again. So what I've just been discovering so far of late was that I've actually got diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and how I actually came about was that I was actually doing some further research about it because I was actually feeling rather down and pretty upset 2 days ago when I just came back in the afternoon, I think it was, because there was a bit of an argument going about watching over sex and stuff. But it's just that it was very repetitive. But nevertheless, I am straightforward, in control on emotions and stuff, because, I am quite the person who's very good at dealing with certain strong emotions. And I know it really is like still happening to me. Now, I just got diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and that's because I think what's been happening so far is that I've actually had some various patterns that have been distracting me, like the animation I have to deal with, making videos, making toys, and other whatnot. And I think all of this productivity will have to be halted, especially making videos on YouTube. Now, so just as a bit of a public service announcement on my YouTube channel, I'm actually going to quarantine and stop producing videos for not just 1 day, but 2 days. Possibly, I might have to probably include Friday, that, because of the mental health I have to suffer from, and also because I was actually very open and honest. What happened yesterday when I was at college, of course it was on a Tuesday, and it was the very last day of April, and just to get my confidence back, I was actually being very honest and open with the people that have supported me at college, and I guess I felt like I must have actually felt very strong, but I felt like I was just being too secretive. So, my bad, but then no, I wouldn't say I'm that bad after all, because the competence, not the incompetence, but the competence of the honesty I was actually using, the competence of how honest I was, has been quite very powerful, and has also been very, very deep. And obviously, I think to think of a very bad situation like this, I honestly think back to myself as a person who is relatively good at controlling my emotions and also talking about the good stuff, not just the bad stuff. And another thing I've also been detecting was, as I'm upstairs, I'm actually doing stuff very, very good, but when I'm downstairs, I start to feel rather apprehensively nervous. And that is because I've never actually felt like I had to pretty much, well, I was independent, but then of course even when I'm supported, I just get a little bit of a tirade and stuff. I think what it is probably because I'm actually hearing voices that are very confusing. I just find it very confusing and very difficult to juxtapose either which two of them. So you may have noticed I've actually got a bit of a syndrome of borderline personality disorder, and that's because I actually had that. And also, I actually did chat to my dad yesterday about the thoughts inside my head, and of course I was getting symptoms of the feeling of despair or feeling very suicidal, I think. And I think that was it. So yeah, to feel positive in a few hours later. So yeah, I think I was getting symptoms where I was feeling positive a few hours later, but then I started to think about some very bad stuff because of all the things that were walking in my head or like people who are just conveying as in like doing something good, but I just convey it as something that is like trouble or retribution, as I call it. But obviously, I did talk about those thoughts, and those thoughts are still like in the past, and unfortunately, it is life threatening when I think about it. It is very, very serious for a problem, and I am actually very proud that for being very honest and open, but as I'm not really, of course, yes, I can definitely tell like I am pretty much ashamed, but then at the same time, I'm not really that ashamed because I know how much I can stand up for myself and be very honest and be very proud and be very confident in the way I'm actually talking about my mental health. So I was getting thoughts of death and thoughts of basically hurting other people's feelings. And that was because of various things of like I was difficult to decipher words and whatnot. And I think what it was that, when I've got like different people from different backgrounds, it does seem to become very difficult. And obviously, from that argument or that run in from I had 2 days ago, it was pretty much the thing about that though. So, yes, I think what I've noticed was that the reason why I think I might have borderline personality disorder was that after arguing, I then think to myself as a very bad person or a terrible person or feeling like I don't exist or feeling like I could, I think it is. And I think, or experiences or even like very disturbing hallucinations and stuff. And I think that's probably about it. And it is kind of something I think, I'm pretty sure I have borderline personality disorder because of that. And I think what it is that I am diagnosed with it. And it was probably because of the wrongful training. And I think it's the incompetence of the training that was going on when I was a kid. And unfortunately, I'm still very, very angry about this, getting punished from my parents and stuff. And that unfortunately has actually conveyed me to a lot of violence back then in 2011, 2012, I guess. But then, and possibly 2013. But then, years later, I stopped becoming a bit violent. And of course, I think that was the thing. But then, of course, the emotions were becoming a bit of a huge aspect about regulating and stuff. Anyways, I'm gonna have to probably stop here because at the moment I've got breakfast, but most importantly, I've got an exam today, which I'll be leaving at around 9:30 and I'll get there around 10:30, I guess. So I'll see how it goes. And also, I might be taking a break for 2 days of making videos and stuff. So, anyways, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. So, as always, thanks for watching and bye for now. I hope you've understood the feelings and the condolences over on how I'm feeling at the moment and also the amount of trauma that I had to endure. Bye.